Hello everybody! Today we're going to be installing peony rings. Now, peonies, as we all know, are a big, beautiful flower. The flowers tend to fall over, flop over, and hit the ground. So we install these supports so that they stay upright. Now, this is what a peony looks like when it's first starting to pop out of the ground. Very delicate red shoots. This is a good time to put your peony rings up because when they grow too big, they get too big, sometimes it's difficult to get the rings around them without breaking the plant. So I'm going to start with the legs of the support. There's 3 of them, and I'm going to arrange them in a triangle shape around the peony. So I'll put 1 in the back, 2 on the sides here, and maybe angle them just a tiny bit outward and get them deep enough into the soil so they won't fall over. These rings are going to be up from now, which is mid-April, until the peonies start to die back to the ground, which would probably be maybe July, mid-July, depending on the year. So now I have my 3 support legs set up and I'm going to put the rings in. So now that I have the 3 supports set up, I'm going to put the rings in, and each setup has 3 legs and 2 rings. So I'm just going to feed the rings through the holes. There's 1 in the middle here, and then clasp. And now this is a good point to make sure that you're even. This one looks a little taller, so I'm going to try to get it in the ground a little bit deeper. There we go. And then the top one, same thing, feed it through the loops. And then again, you just want to make sure that it's not wobbly or wonky or anything like that. Make it as neat looking as possible. So these are all the same height, and that looks pretty good. And then you also want to make sure that all the peony rings that you have in one stretch are in equal height as well. So I have 4 peony rings set up here, and they should all be the same height. Now, when you're taking peony rings down at the end of the season, we want to do this in the easiest and neatest way possible. These things tend to get tangled like crazy. So what I would do is basically the opposite of what we just did to set them up. So start with the top ring, take it off, feed it through the loops, and start a pile for your rings. Take off the second ring, add it to your pile of rings, and then make a second pile for stakes. So when you're done taking all of the peony rings down, you have a pile with a bunch of stakes and a pile with a bunch of rings. You can tie all the stakes together with a piece of twine, tie all the rings together with a piece of twine, and then label whatever house they came from. Put a label on the rings, put a label on the stakes, and that way in the spring we won't have any confusion, and it'll be easy for us to sort these out, untangle them. We won't have to untangle them, hopefully, and put them up at their prospective properties. And that is what we do with peonies.